Do you dare to dream? And if so, do you dare to move towards those dreams? Imagine that you're standing in the middle of a meadow, and at the end of this big meadow are all of your dreams. It sounds so simple. If what I want is at the end of this meadow, then of course the logical thing is to start to move myself towards the end of the meadow where my dreams are. But that's not what we do most of the time. Most of the time, the really big dreams that we have, they frighten us so much, and we have so much conditioning and so many limiting beliefs that are holding us back, that we actually move in the other direction, away from our dreams, away from our desires. Why do we keep investing time, money, energy, resources into moving further and further away from what we actually want? When we have a dream, this dream can be very tender. We are sometimes afraid to even share this dream with other people because we're afraid that they will judge us or criticize us for our dream. When you hold something very close to your heart, of course you're so afraid to lose it. If you have something that you don't really care that much about, it doesn't matter if you lose it or not. When you really want something, there's a lot at stake. You can risk losing something that you really wanted, and there's a level of pain involved in that most of us want to avoid feeling. So it feels safer for us to pick other choices that are not so close to our hearts, that don't involve the same risk of feeling pain. And that's why we're moving away from what we actually want, and we're picking options that feel more safe and more secure. In this video, we are going to talk about 3 major things that can prevent you from going after your dreams. And these 3 things are conditioning, limiting beliefs, and fears. Let's first start with fears. There are so many different fears. We could be afraid of failure, of trying to go after our dreams but then failing. Or we could be afraid of success. What if we get what we want? Can we actually handle it? Or we could be afraid to lose what we actually got. What if we get this big dream that we had and then suddenly we lose it? What if the people around us will start to judge us or criticize us or leave us if we start to live this life where we're going after our dreams? So there are so many fears that could be stopping us. The second part is limiting beliefs. And you can have so many different limiting beliefs, but I'm just going to give you a few examples here. One limiting belief could be a belief that you are not worthy, that you are on some level not worthy of having this dream that you desire. Another belief could be that you're not capable, that if you would go after this dream that you have, that you would not be capable to actually do that thing that you dream of. And what we don't realize many times is that you can become capable. You can most of the time learn things. Even if you don't have that skill right now, and even if you don't have the natural talent for it. One example that comes to mind when it comes to not thinking that you are capable is that we sometimes believe that we should be born with these abilities, and we don't understand that it takes time, it takes practice. And we believe that if we don't have this talent naturally, we won't actually be any good. But I watched a guitar teacher talk about this, and he put it so beautifully. He said that he had been a teacher for many years, and he had seen dedication and devotion win out over talent over and over again. Let's pick guitar learning as an example, but you can apply this to anything. And let's say we have 3 different students. One person has a lot of musical talent and is very good at practicing and staying devoted and committed. This person is going to make fast progress. Then we have the second student who has no musical talent at all, but is still very devoted and does the work. This person will also be able to reach the goal, but it might take a little bit longer. And in the third category, we have the person who is very musically talented, but who doesn't put in the work. This person will get nowhere. So can you see that if you're just willing to put in the work, Even if you don't have any natural talent for this thing, you can still get to where you want to go, but it just might take you a little bit longer than if you had the natural talent. These are just some examples of limiting beliefs. There are many, many more, and I want to make more videos about limiting beliefs in the future because it is such an important subject. When you learn to work with your limiting beliefs, you start to become free and you start to be able to live your life more the way you would want to live your life. A third thing that is stopping many people from going after their dreams is conditioning. Maybe you've heard again and again from people around you or from society or from yourself that this dream is unrealistic. So many times we are persuaded by family, friends, society, ourselves to pick the safe, stable choice and not to go for our dreams. Another aspect of this could be to see other people who are trying to go after their dreams and then they get shut down very harshly. A good example of this is mainstream media, from watching people put themselves out there and get harshly rejected while they're going after their dreams. So if you stack all of these things on top of each other, just this conditioning part can make so many people afraid to go after their dreams. We're going to talk about how to stop moving away from your dreams. If you can imagine that you're in a car and you're driving further and further away from your dreams, how can you take your foot off the gas pedal and at least stop the car from moving further and further away from the things that you want? This is a first step, to stop for a moment and to look around in your life and see how are you investing your time, your money, your resources, your energy into things that are moving you further and further away from what you actually want. Just taking a pause, looking into your life, and once you have stopped, can you allow yourself to dream for a moment about what you actually want, to become clear about what you actually want? Where am I on this meadow? What are my dreams? And in what areas of my life am I moving further and further away from my dreams? What are my dreams when it comes to a relationship? What are my dreams when it comes to a career? What are my dreams when it comes to an education? What are my dreams when it comes to where I actually want to live? What are my dreams when it comes to my hobbies and how I spend my free time? These are some areas that you can look into and you can see if it's possible to re-evaluate some of these areas. See if there are any of these areas where you're right now moving further and further away from what you actually want. Are there some of these areas where you could stop investing so much time, so much effort, so much energy, so much money into moving in the wrong direction? And the last thing I would like to say is to let hobbies and your free time be where you let these passions develop. Because in this container, they can develop quite safely, but you're still making progress to where you actually want to go. A hobby that's quite innocent, that is something that you could really start to maybe just spend a little time every day or every week doing something that you really love. And it doesn't have to start with this big thing. It can start with something very small. Allow yourself to be bad at something. Allow yourself to fail. This is your hobby. This is your free time. You're allowed to make as many mistakes as you want. You don't have to tell anyone what you're doing. And this is just your space, your time to be creative and to have fun and to do the things that you really love. And when you do that enough, day after day after day, you are going to start to become better and better and better at that thing. And that's how you start to develop your skills and your confidence within the areas that actually matter the most to you. Can you see if you can take some pressure off yourself? That yes, this passion that you have, it's something that you hold very dear to your heart, but allow yourself to play with it, to have fun with it, to make mistakes. Can you allow yourself to fail at these things many times before you become good? Can you allow yourself to look a bit foolish at first? Can you allow yourself to be seen by others when you're clumsy and when you're making mistakes? We have all been there. And to understand that it's going to be a long process. If you've never done this thing before, it's going to take time before you actually become good at it. But you're going to enjoy the process. If you want to learn how to play an instrument, it's going to sound horrible at first and you will have no idea what you are doing. But slowly, day by day, week by week, month by month, time will compound, and if you keep practicing, if you keep putting in the work, you are going to naturally become better and better and better at this thing. All this time that you're wasting on Netflix or on social media, can you spend some of that time learning new skills that you actually are passionate about? And all of a sudden you're going to wake up and realize that you have suddenly become very, very good at that thing that you are actually passionate about. So this is my invitation for you today. To evaluate your life, your career, your relationship, your friendships, your hobbies. Is there one or more areas where you can take your foot off the gas pedal and stop moving away from what you actually want? Can you use your hobbies? Can you use your free time as a way to slowly become better and better at this thing, these things that you're passionate about? This is all I have for today. I wish you the best of luck and I hope to see you again soon.